Namaste. I am Geny Caloisi from Chai Yoga and Ayurveda Wellness. And today I wanted to show you how to make Kitchari. Kitchari is a very healing type of meal that you prepare all in one pot. So you will need clarified butter, ghee. At the moment I have this ghee, which is not organic, but it's the pandemic, so we use what we have. And you will need coriander seed, mustard seeds, cumin. I like it with a bit of fennel as well. And you will also need coriander and cumin powder, ginger powder, and very importantly, turmeric. You will use mung beans. These ones have been already put into water overnight to have them nice and swelled. Some fresh ginger, one's just escaped, and basmati rice. So I'm going to show you how I do it. One of the key things for me to do the Kitchari is to have all of the ingredients out before I start. Mainly because as it needs so many things, you can't waste the time to be looking for it on your cupboards, etc. So you will have about 2 tablespoons of ghee. I know it sounds like a lot, but ghee is a very, very healing type of oil. Make sure you have the fire as low as it can be, because otherwise you're going to burn all the seeds. So first you want to incorporate all of the seeds that are whole. The seeds that are whole need to pop so that you get the flavor onto the food. And that's why they go first. And you'll see that very quickly as you do this, the seeds send an aroma, and it's not unlike popcorn. It always makes me want to eat popcorn when I make Kitchari. A little bit of more cumin seeds. Hopefully you can see in this other camera, I'm doing it more or less by eye, and you can have more precise measurements. I love cooking, I cook a lot, and I feel that this method works for me. So once the seeds start cooking on the clarified batter, once you start smelling that the seeds are starting to relieve their aroma, then you will add the Kitchari, well, the mung beans. So these mung beans have been soaked overnight, and they are about twice the size that they would be. You can hear the crackling, so we will add this, and it's going to be noisy. So I'm going to stop talking for a moment. What we want to do by adding the mung beans onto the oil is for the oil to be absorbed by the beans. In Ayurveda, we use oils, good oils, in order to nourish the tissues, nourish them profoundly. I am doing right now a Kitchari detox, which means that this is going to be my meal for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And because my detox wants to be a little bit further than just a mono diet, I am also going to be doing only dinner and lunch, so no breakfast, which means that I'm going to be doing a bit of alternate fasting. So intermittent fasting, or intermittent fasting, I should say, It's a very good way to help the body to detoxify or digest what hasn't been digested, because you are giving it a rest. By eating khichdi during this period, you are giving the body something that is very easy to digest. And this will help the digestion of all toxins. So things in Ayurveda, now I'm gonna add the turmeric, about a teaspoon of turmeric. You add it all. Once the mung beans are salt and in the oil, you add the powder spices, approximately a teaspoon of each. But as I said before, I like to do it just by eye. This one, this powder is coriander and cumin together. You can find it on some of the Asian shops. Otherwise, you will have coriander and cumin, and you will add the two spices together. Fabulous. So this is an important part of it. As it starts cooking, it gets a little bit sticky. And that's fine. You should scrape it off. And you can see how the mung beans start getting that beautiful yellow color. Well, they were yellow to start with, but the yellow color from the turmeric. And it smells divine. You will also want to add a little bit of salt. So I have Himalayan salt here. You can add not too much. You can add enough to make it tasty. Salt enhances flavors. It helps digestion. But you shouldn't exceed your salt, especially if you have a high pitta dosha, a high fire on your organism. So I'm gonna add now the rice, and I'm gonna add more or less the same amount of rice as I had of beans. So 2 of these little scoops will be 1 portion. As this is gonna be my pot of food for the whole day, I will add 3. So that I have for lunch and for dinner. And we mix it all together. Now the rice is getting the oil. And as you can see, there is no oil floating anymore. It's all taken in, all being absorbed. The fire, the volume of the fire is very, very low. And this is a fantastic 1-pot meal. Now, the ginger. We're going to add, it's about a thumb size of ginger. If you like more ginger, you can add more. If you have a tendency to having cold hands and feet, ginger is a fantastic herb to include. And as this is my case, apart from the fresh ginger, I'm going to put some powdered ginger. Not a lot, otherwise it's going to be too spicy, but I like a little bit of spiciness. And spices in Ayurveda and in other cuisines, really, are used to help us digest. So when you add cumin and coriander, fennel, all of these things will help the body to digest the food that you are ingesting, and also being able to digest what was left behind from other meals. I sometimes do the khichdi with the rice separate from the beans. And the reason to do that is because if you do a more prolonged type of mono diet, so I'm going to be doing this Kitchari detox for 3 days probably. I haven't decided yet, and that's fine. You can decide as you go along, see how you feel. If you do 5 days or 7 days for Kitchari detox, you might want to have a little bit of variation. So when I do that type of length, I will have the rice cooked separately from the beans so that I can have sometimes more of a liquid Kitchari, which will be like a soup. Sometimes I will have it like a curry, so a nice bit of rice and the mung beans on the side. So that varies a little bit, the texture and the structure of it, and it makes it a bit more fun to have. Very, very important if you are detoxing is to keep the level of fiber on. So I have steamed some vegetables, some brown beans and broccoli and cauliflower. And I have steamed them separately so that I can have them with it. However, you can add the vegetables into the pot. So it's truly in one pot meal. If you can see on the screen, the rice is still having to be cooked because you can see that the rice is still white. When the rice gets more cooked, it becomes more translucent and a bit more swelled. This Kitchari will need a little bit more water. I prefer to keep adding water before instead of just sending everything together at once, because that way it doesn't end up like a soup. I do like it as a soup, but right now I'm just going to make it as a one pot thing. So once you have this Kitchari, you can ideally have only 1 pot per day. I know sometimes you think, well, I batch cook and I can keep it and I can have it later. And I know some of my Ayurveda clients that have cooked a batch and then they freeze some of it and they use it later. In Ayurveda, it is recommended that food will be eaten just in the day. If you make food and you eat it within 2 or 3 days, slowly that food will lose its energy, its prana. It's better to cook every day. And by cooking your own food, you get the opportunity to feel the aromas, to bathe your eyes in the colors. You're able to really connect. And every meal can be a meditation. Every time you cook, you are connecting with your body, you're connected with your senses, and you're connecting with your health. Remember that Ayurveda proposes us a good dose of TLC. And TLC is not just tender love and care. TLC comes from therapeutic lifestyle changes. And these therapeutic lifestyle changes will help you be more balanced. Cooking might not be for everybody, but it is a therapeutic activity. And it is something that once you do it, can be really satisfying and it can make you feel more connected with what you're doing. So the rice is cooking up nicely. The mung beans cook quite quickly. If you have a pressure cooker, you can do the preparation on saute, and then just add the mung beans and the rice and close it, and that's it. So this is bubbling very nicely. One thing that is delicious with kitchari is having a good dose of coriander seeds. Fresh coriander, you can have it, you can have it just with a big leaves, or you can chop it up, or you can have a coriander mixture with some ginger as well, and that will make it really special. So the vegetables go on the side of the dish or together. You can mix them together or have them on the side. The spices, let's revise what the spices were. We have mustard seeds, fennel seeds, cumin seeds, and coriander seeds. Then you have coriander and cumin powder. I added some ginger powder and very, very important, turmeric powder. All of these are the spices that you need to put for kitchari. First, you put the ghee, a couple of tablespoons of ghee with the seeds, and then you put the powder spices. And this is almost done. It takes about 15 minutes, 20 minutes. So even if cooking is not your thing, it's not too much tips. You can really get a nice meal out of this. You will find the recipe for kitchari on my website. And if you're interested or you have any questions, you can always reach out. I am at Geny, Geny, at cheyoga, CHE, yoga.co.uk. And I can tell you whatever doubts you might have, I can sort it out, hopefully. And if I can't, I will research it and get back to you. So let's see. Now you can see that the rice is a little bit more swelled, and you have the mung beans that are cooking nicely. And I'm gonna give it a try. It's good to try it just before it's ended, because if it needs a bit of salt or even pepper, you might like things with a bit of pepper, you can add it on. And if the consistency is not yet what you need to have, then you add a bit more water. That is really good. And it needs a little bit more water. I'm gonna add it now. This will be the last bit. I normally add enough water to cover it. So the amount will vary depending on how hot your hot gets and how much the rice will take, how much water the rice will take. Sometimes if I use organic brown rice, which is not good for everybody, it's best to do it with white rice, it's good for everybody. Brown rice can be a little bit heating for people with too much fire on their system. If I use brown rice, I will put it in water as well, so that by the time I cook it, both beans and the rice are ready for me. And the vegetables are nice and done. Yeah, perfect. We don't want them overcooked. We want them just steamed and just lightly cooked so that you can digest them, but not overcooked. Mung beans. What do mung beans look like in the shops? You will have two types of mung beans. One will be the whole mung beans, which are like this. They are green. And the green is the outside of the mung bean, is the skin. all beans with skin are a little bit more difficult to digest. So one of the things you can do is to sprout them. And I'm going to show you in another video how to sprout mung beans. It's delicious. Once the beans are sprouted, you can add them into salads. You can have them with a kitchari. And the good thing about sprouting, especially for the spring, is that you have all of that plant power. Look at that. Mmm. Oh, it smells fabulous. The split mung beans, which is what we use for kitchari, like this. They come in, this is a big packet. You can have smaller packets. And as you can see, the beans are already split, and you can see the yellow inside. Both of those two are the same species. Just these ones have had the skin removed, and therefore they have been made easier to digest. So we are nearly here, nearly done. And I'm really hungry right now because I have not eaten since yesterday, 7:30 p.m. It's a little bit more salt. And now it is about 1:30. So I have done a good time of fasting. And I can feel my stomach already starting to rumble. And this is it, guys. If your stomach doesn't make noise, it means that you're not hungry. It means that whatever you ate before has not been digested. So it's not bad to have a grumbling stomach. Grumble will indicate that you're ready for the next meal. Let's try it out. Fantastic. We are all done. Get my plate and a good dose of kitchari. And some steamy vegetables. Don't want to come out. That's it. Some coriander leaves. Bon appetit! Kitchari, especially good for spring detox. Beautiful. Do it yourself. Let me know how you're going, and reach out if you have any questions. This is Geny Caloisi from Che Yoga and Ayurveda Wellness. I hope you enjoy this mini cookery course. Namaste.